Ready to dominate your industry with strategy that actually scales? At Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm, we're not just PR experts, we're licensed sports agents certified in AI and elite business consultants with over 2 decades of experience leading global projects across multiple countries. Visit cprfirm.com, that's colemanprfirm.com, and millionairex.ai, then download the Millionaire X app, your AI-powered guide to getting out of debt, investing smarter, and building generational wealth. Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm. It's a family business. It's different.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Let's stop acting like we don't see how this game is played. If you tired of folks throwing shade with a smile and keeping you boxed in with that slick behind-the-scenes racism, it's time to upgrade your survival skills. See, Phillip Scott dropped more than just knowledge. He handed you a playbook with passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy. This ain't the in-your-face kind. This is that sneaky, office space, let-me-block-your-blessings type of racism that'll have you questioning your own reality. It's time to call it what it is and arm yourself with the facts. But baby, don't stop at just peeping the system. Break those mental chains too. That's why you need 7 steps to decolonize the mind. This is about freeing yourself up top, walking in confidence, and letting the world know your mind is not for rent, lease, or layaway. It's time to reclaim your power step by step. So don't just watch, take action. Click over to Amazon.com, type in passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy and 7 steps to decolonize the mind, and secure both books for yourself, your crew, and anybody ready for that mental liberation. La Sherika said it, now go do it. Invest in your freedom. Pick up both books today on Amazon.com. Trust me, your mind will thank you.
After 13 years of exposing lies in the media, I discovered the biggest lie of all. They want you to think racism is random, accidental, just bad people doing bad things. But what if I told you anti-black racism was engineered, programmed like software, marketed like a product, and designed to survive across generations? That's exactly what I prove in my new book, Us versus the Machine, How Anti-Black Racism Was Programmed, Marketed, and Made to Survive. This isn't another book about what racism looks like. This is the blueprint of how it was built, who profits from it, and most importantly, how to dismantle it. I spent years connecting dots that they never wanted connected, following money trails they thought were buried, exposing the machine that runs on our oppression. Knowledge is power, but strategic knowledge is liberation. Get Us versus the Machine on Amazon today, because once you understand the system, you can beat the system.
We're here in Rio de Janeiro, and I guarantee you this will be an unforgettable experience as you get to taste the food, the culture, have experiences with the historical aspect of Brazil. That's right, one of the major parts of the African diaspora. And guess what? We want you to join us here in Brazil. The views are amazing, the food is spectacular, and the experience is unforgettable. And the only thing that's missing is you. Join us.
Hey, baby, if you're tired of watered-down news that don't speak to us, then it's time you download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get it right now on Google Play and the Apple App Store. Stay informed, stay empowered, and support media that speaks truth from our perspective. Now, here's Brother Phil with today's message.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I normally don't stream on no Saturday. You know I don't, but I say, you know what? Let me go ahead on and take care of this while I have a little time. Thank y'all for coming to this stream here. We greatly appreciate it. I know, like I said, I know it's outside my normal time. I probably would have uploaded a pre-record, But I said, you know what? Let's do this real quick. We won't take much of your time. So I know you ain't heard much about your boy Trump. Your boy Trump that went in there and got old Nicolas Maduro out of Venezuela. And I want you to hear that when he talked about in the press conference too. He did about that today. It's one thing that stuck out the most of what he's saying. But I hope y'all having a good Saturday. Let me go ahead and get on this thing here. Check out what people got going on. As always, thank you for downloading the African Diaspora News Channel app. We greatly appreciate that. Those of you have, definitely supporting us since probably even before 2025, right? And some people may just started supporting this year. Thank you very much for that. We just uploaded a interview with a brother talking about life insurance. And that's a very important conversation. So go to the interview tab on the app and you'll be able to see that particular interview because life insurance is something we need to be taking care of. We shouldn't be doing GoFundMes and nothing like that for that. And we could take care of those things. So check out the interview when you get a chance if you're on the app. Also, we also going to have more interviews coming up for the app. I was talking to one of y'all favorite people, Dr. Candace Matthews. So we're going to have a sit down with her, hopefully sometime this month, and start off the new year right with Dr. Matthews. So be on the lookout for this as well. So let's go ahead on and get started. I don't want to take much of your time. It's a Saturday. I know some people probably trying to get themselves together, go out to the lounge, or maybe the club or wherever you're going. So I said, let me go ahead on to give y'all this news real quick and y'all could do with it what you want. So your boy Trump, I'm going to show you the footage. They went into Venezuela, Caracas, Venezuela, which is the capital. And they went in the middle of the night. And they from what I was reading, is it Delta Team 6? Somehow Delta Team, I think it's that. They actually went in there and actually got him, Maduro and his wife. They wasn't harmed. They wasn't harmed at all. And they was actually, I saw the footage of them. They brought him to New York and they had an indictment on him since 2020. That's actually underneath the Biden administration and everything. Yeah, 2020. Yeah. Yeah, since then. I think since then. Don't get me wrong on that. But anyway, they had an indictment out of New York and they went on ahead and brought him to New York to face charges in the U.S. Very interesting. But let's go ahead on and play the footage real quick if y'all haven't seen it yet. And let's see what Trump and them was doing.
Mierda, what the fuck? Porque tú no estás explotando. Mierda, marico, se prendió el peo en esta mierda, ¿oyó?
Las explosiones, se escuchan helicópteros, son las 1:58 de la mañana. Están atacando el fuerte Fiuna.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that was some of the footage that came out of Venezuela. And thank you, who is it? Carlette. Thank you, Delta Force 6. I always think about SEAL Team 6. That's the one like embedded in my head. So yeah. Forgive me of that. Hey, I'm not, hey, we human, right? Now, so all that happened and got Maduro. He's in New York right now, okay? Supposed to be facing federal charges, him and his wife. Now, I want you to hear something that's really got my attention, what Trump had to say here in this press conference. It was about an hour or so. Trump was just doing what Trump do, rambling. Oh, it was the greatest thing. You haven't seen nothing like this before and all of that. But let's get to what really perked my ears about Trump. Here we go.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious because that's what we're all about. We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela, and that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland. We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind. We've had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it, essentially, until such time as a proper transition can take place.
All right. So that part of the conference was what got my attention. So let's think about this. And I'll see what a lot of y'all saying here about where's Congress. They were not consulted. Not at all. Republicans agree with this action. Democrats are saying it's foul. So just kind of let you know where that's at. He's supposed to be getting Congress approval to do things, but he's like, I don't care about them. His excuse was they're leakers. That's what he said in the press conference. They're leakers. So if I'd have told them, they'd have leaked it to the press. So he said, no, I ain't tell them anything. So he like, the hell with it. I don't care. Does this violate international law, violating another country's sovereignty? Yeah, but you have to understand, people like the United States and other Western powers, they kind of above that law because they can wield their power wherever they like to wield their power. That's an unfortunate thing really for the rest of the world. So now, based off what Trump just said, now you're looking at another situation where it could be another Afghanistan/Iraq. The military-industrial complex is happy, of course, because, hey, every bomb they drop, that's money. That means they got to replenish those bombs, right? And so if you are investing into the military-industrial complex on the stock market, hey, Raytheon and many other companies, hey, you're going to make some money. Anytime war is going on, you make money on those stocks. I promise you that. So basically, you're going to run it. Sound like colonizing to me. Is that colonizing? You go over there, you take the leader to this country because you put charges on them in this country, right? Even though he was in his own country. And listen, I've heard things about Maduro. A lot of people say he wasn't a good guy. He did wrong things. That's their country, their business. They should handle it how they see fit with him. But in that same press conference, Trump's motivation was the oil. Just like Bush's motivation was the oil with Iraq and all of that. Why the motivation? Venezuela sits on 300 billion would it be, barrels of oil. And Trump and the oil industry, they want that oil. And so Maduro's out of the way. Now they can just go in and take their oil and siphon it all over here. They're talking about all the American companies are going to come back in, your Chevron, your Shell, all your big American companies, right? And they're going to go make bukus of money. Now I know Trump gonna get his cut out of it. I already know. So this whole thing wasn't about the people. You know, it's the same thing with Saddam Hussein. If you look at the track record, they make an accusation. They say remember Saddam Hussein? Oh, he got weapons of mass destruction. He got this, that, and the third. We got to go to war against him because he's a tyrant. He's doing this to his own people. Yada, yada, yada. Then they go in and get Saddam Hussein out of Iraq. And then it becomes worse off right afterwards instead of how it was. You go to Libya, Gaddafi, right? Oh, he's hurting his own people. Look at what Gaddafi's doing. And the reason why they wanted to get him out of there because he was trying to bring one central currency to the African continent that was a gold dinar. He wanted to cut off all the money he spent to the Western world for telecommunications. So, he was a horrible guy. He hurt his own people. We got to go in there and get him. And unfortunately, Obama gave the green light to go get him. And that was a NATO thing, right? Okay, cool. Fast forward to Maduro. Oh, he's trafficking drugs. He's a narco-terrorist. He's doing this and that and the third. Don't bring any proof of it. I mean, you're just blowing up boats. Don't bring any proof of anything. And then now you just go into the country and take the man out, him and his wife, in the middle of the night, and bring them to New York, tell them they're going to face some charges. Then Trump low-key threatening Colombia. Threatening them too. So I don't know if he's going to pull that off over there. You say Colombia got factories of drugs. I mean, now we know Colombia's always been with that. But let me tell you something. Colombia, whatever country, can send whatever they want over here. It doesn't mean you got to take it. It doesn't mean you got to take it, but it's not about the drug. They don't care about that. They don't care about that. Because if they really cared about the drug, then why don't you put them same 3-strike laws? It's interesting. They didn't do nothing to them. Those 3-strike laws didn't mess with them at all. I'm talking about white folk. Because they the one is that fentanyl is taking them out of here, baby. It is. Look it up. They're the one is in, like, with the crack era, and what they meant for us, that it didn't work. But now it's flipped, and now what was really meant for us now is falling upon them. And that's also dwindling their numbers too. So they're not having children. They're having all of the deaths with the drug. So he knows this, right? So he said, good, I can use that to go attack these other countries because these countries are like traditionally known to have drug in them, but really I want the oil. So I'm going to use the drug play to get the oil. That's really what that is. So now they have colonized the country. Something else I thought about too today when I was looking at all of this. Illegal immigrants. Talk to you for a minute. Some of your countries don't want you back. You know you're going to be deported to now? Take a wild guess where he probably going to start deporting all of you. Who your country won't take you back? I think we kind of have an idea where he going to start deporting you to. You going to get a good trip to Venezuela. That's going to be his dumping ground right there. Now he'll be able to really speed up mass deportation because he don't have to get permission from another country because he didn't colonize one. You say Halliburton? Oh, yeah, Halliburton. All them companies getting paid. Oh, they getting paid. Anytime there's some sort of war going on, defense contractors or whatever, they getting paid. But yeah. Trump and them, it probably not going to be long for them flights going to start heading to Venezuela, dropping them off over there. Because they want to get them out of here. Now, of course, you're right. I'm looking at you. You said this isn't legal. Well, of course it's not legal. Of course. If China did this, Russia, any African nations did the same thing, they'd be saying it's illegal and we got to bring them before the International Criminal Court, and all of that. And they got to face justice. And any other leader would have did this. It would have been a problem. But the U.S., at least with them, they get away with it. The EU, they came out saying, oh, well, Maduro, he was doing things or whatever. Now, this is the interesting part I also thought about. Trump was talking about Canada. Where my Canadians at? He wanted Canada to be the 51st state. Greenland, you another one. What does this mean for Canada, Greenland? And he kind of made low-key threats to Mexico, too. Well, what is that? What Trump is going with this? What is he trying to do? Is he trying to take over these? What is he doing? What is he doing? The only issue with Mexico, it would be an interesting play with Mexico if he was to do that, because, there's a lot of Mexicans in the United States. So I don't know what the response would be to that, but I'm pretty sure they'll be already ready for that if they decide to do something in Mexico. But to be honest with you, Venezuela is a very small country compared to Mexico. But once again, it was about the oil. It's the oil they're sitting on. And once again, the white man is going to steal somebody else's stuff. That's why I don't listen to him about anything with morality. I don't. The Republicans are applauding. So you're applauding Trump openly saying, hey, we're going to get the oil and we're gonna make money, and Venezuela going to get money too, but we're going to get the oil. He starts stealing their oil tankers. That's stealing. That stealing isn't justified. You call it what it is. You can say, well, they were sanctioned. They weren't supposed to be in the water. You're stealing. The water is for everybody. You say El Salvador, you talking about the deport? Man, look, he ain't got to deport them to El Salvador no more. No, he going to start deporting them to Venezuela. That's where they going. Your country don't want to take you back? Don't worry. Venezuela is where you going. You'll stay over there. Because who's going to stop him from dropping them off now? He didn't colonize Venezuela. Right? He say they going to run it. Well, that's the thing. You can't even run this country. How y'all going to run Venezuela and you can't run this one? People don't have jobs. People are hurting. You cut off millions of people from the subsidies of the Affordable Care Act. Now you didn't cut millions of parents off for receiving child care help. And that's not a popular thing that you're doing. How you gonna go run Venezuela? But it's not he's not gonna run anything. He's just gonna try to siphon those people all into his bone dry. Cause they have done that before in Latin America. They'll go to these countries and siphon all their resources to his bone dry. And people talking about, I think they said China had an envoy in that nation at the time and all of that. So we don't know what happened with that situation, but yeah, so they back to colonizing. They, you said down here, deflecting from the Epstein files. This won't stop the exposure of all the names of the people. Well, yeah, listen, they don't care about no Epstein. They don't care, because you have to think about it. If you study their culture, especially that Greco-Roman culture, that's normal. That behavior what Epstein and them was doing was normal. Because listen, any man I know, especially a black man, wouldn't be down for no crap like that. Like, man, you get yourself beat up around here. So they're like, man, what you looking at little kids for, man? What's your problem? What's your problem, bro? I don't know little kids around here. I've never met no dudes that want to be around some kids. But Trump, like I said, they didn't colonize somebody else's country, and I guess so. We colonizing in 2026. So I guess Canada, Mexico, Colombia, I guess y'all be on notice too. You may get colonized too. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But you know what? Even though I'm telling y'all about all this, that's the only thing we say about it. Hey, man. I hate it for you, but nothing we can do about it. We ain't doing no protesting. We not doing anything. Sorry. We got a lot of issues in Black America that we need to fix. A lot. And because we got a lot of issues in America, Black America, that we need to fix, we don't have the energy to focus on other things. Now, I know some of you warriors who think you know so much. Oh, that's not right. I'm going to protest. Go do it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead. I have no issue with you doing. Do what you feel is right. But nope, we are good. We are so good. We didn't spearhead that attack. We didn't promote to go do anything to any other sovereign nation. We never promote that. Most of us in Black America disagree with that because we know how it feels. So they did it to us first. You have to understand. I was just reading today. We're talking about Black history. There were 550 Black created towns in the state of Texas alone. The state of Texas. The first incorporated city in the state of Texas was Independence Heights in the state of Texas. Look up what I'm saying. And a lot of our people, how we lost a lot of our land, how we lost our cities, not neighborhoods, cities, was through terrorism, literally, white mob violence, them taking our stuff. Slocum, Texas is another one. They did the same thing. They ran all the Black people out and took all this stuff, right? Independence Heights was doing good until they had the stock market crash, but then they had took out, I think, like $100,000 loan on the land at the time. And when the crash happened, they couldn't pay the bills. Houston was trying to expand. So because they had took also some money from Houston because they wanted to put in a modern amenities like indoor plumbing and all that stuff. And what ended up happening because they could not pay those bills, then Houston ended up annexing Independence Heights. You know what I'm saying? So from annexation to mob violence to a lot of things that happen to Black people, well, we don't have our towns anymore like we used to. You know what I'm saying? Because our people did not want to live with these people. They wanted to go create their own everything. You know what I'm saying? And when it came to, people talk about the different amendments, if you were a landowner, you could vote. You had to be a landowner to vote. And the Black people at that time period could vote because, the men. When they talk about Black men were voting prior to the 14th Amendment, yes, some of them were who were landowners. Yes, they were. Not women, but definitely some Black men. And we look at our history. These people have not changed. So they do the same thing they did to us all over the world. Kill, steal, destroy. That's it. Not bring peace, not bring life. None of that. It's just killing, stealing, destroying. And if you know your Bible, you know who Jesus said, who is the father of all of that. You know what Jesus said about that. Oh, yeah, I see who it is down there. Yeah, it's so many Black towns. It's so many areas that we've had. Like I said, that's just Texas. I'm talking about my state. Don't even talk about all the other, like Louisiana, many other states. Like we really built a lot in the United States, but these people have kept up. When I told you it's their culture, when somebody do the same thing every single time, it don't matter the time period. Because, people at one point in time, you say, well, it's some older ones that's the racist ones. No, because the young ones today is the same way. They're no different. Why? Because that is taught in the household, and that brings up their different cultures. It's a cultural thing. So can you expect them to do anything less? Now, people talked about also, well, they on the back door right now in Nigeria, right? And what about Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger? Are they going to go in and do the same thing to them? People were discussing that today. Because of sellout leaders like the Nigerian president, he'll let the United States get right on his back door to go do that to him. But that's how we got into slavery too. Selling out. That's why I detest that sellout stuff, man, because it's like, especially selling out to them. Because that's how Black folks got enslaved. Right there. But ladies and gentlemen, Let me play what your boy Trump said one more time. There's something else I wanted to point out.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
Now, here's the thing. Well, why are you saying something to Russia then? Let's thought about that. Russia feels Ukraine is, a threat to them, and they want to annex and run Ukraine. Russia does, right? So why have y'all been, well, we know what that's about. That Ukraine situation is the military-industrial complex making a huge bag off of war, whether it's the United States or it's a proxy war. And so we're giving them weapons. Those weapons come from those companies here in the United States, and they send them over there to them, and they're making a gang of money, drones and everything else. So at this point, you can't say nothing to Vladimir Putin, or you can't say nothing to President Xi if he goes to Taiwan right now and just go ahead on and say, hey, man, that's part of China anyway. I'm going to take it over. I'm going to do it right now. Like, he don't realize he didn't just open up the door to a lot of that. And nobody can't say anything if they go do it, right? But you can't tomorrow. But that's how delirious they are. They will do this mess in Venezuela. Then if President Xi in China go and say, you know what, yeah, I'm going to get Taiwan. And he go do that, then he's like, oh, he's the most horrible thing in the world. What is he doing? That's not, that's breaking international law. Like, huh? But when you did it, it didn't break international law? That's interesting. But y'all have to understand, these people run on, I'm white and I say so. I want y'all to see it. See, what you just saw is actually what you would call white supremacy. That's white supremacy. I can go to your country, take your leader out of your country, bring them to my country for them to stand trial on some charges I put on them. And y'all not going to do nothing about it. And I'm going to take over your country. That's white supremacy 101. So when we talk about white supremacy, that's white supremacy. White supremacy isn't a Klansman running around here saying the N-word. They broke and dusty anyway. No, white supremacy is what you saw Trump and them do. That's white supremacy. And they, of course, they don't go pick on nations with nuclear weapons. They don't do that. If you pay attention. That's the only reason why North Korea was never invaded, is because they got nuclear weapons. Any country that has a nuclear weapon, you notice the United States don't mess with them? Now, South Africa had nuclear weapons, actually, during the apartheid regime. And Israel actually helped them to get their nuclear weapons. But part of the deal to end the apartheid government was to get rid of the nuclear weapons. So they didn't want the black people to have no nuclear weapons to defend themselves. But so if the United States ever went to try to attack Russia, well, they're a nuclear power. They can shoot. It don't take much, really, to make a statement with a nuclear weapon. China has nuclear weapons. Who's Pakistan? They got nuclear weapons, right? They're not going to go mess with Pakistan. Any country that has a nuclear weapon, the United States is not going to mess with. All they can do is sanction them, but they're not really going to try to attack them like that. Pay attention. You say you talked about Russia at the very end. Yeah, but that's really what it is. Russia they should stop all this hypocrisy now about Ukraine. Let Putin go it on and take over Ukraine and be done with it. Because since that's what he did, cause I can imagine Putin right now like, hey, man, y'all sitting up here funding this guy over here to fight with me, but y'all over here doing this. I say, this guy's on my back door. Venezuela not on your back door at all. They way in a different part of your hemisphere. So, boy, I tell you, it's 2026. I told y'all 2026 is going to be an interesting year, too, with these people. And like I told y'all, Trump is going to bring a decline with these people and the EU and all of them. They all going to decline. I'm telling you, because the rest of the world is looking at this. They're looking at it. Some of them nervous. They watching what they say because they're like, am I next? He going to take us over next? We don't know. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to stop in and just share this with y'all. I didn't want to take too long or too much of your time, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. And hold on, you said Russia urges Maduro's release. Yeah, and China and a whole lot of other people say the same thing. They want him released, but no, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. They done too much. Trump then posted the man's picture on his profile and all that. Like Trump proud of what he was doing. Trump like he wanted to go to sleep too on that press conference. He didn't look like he was all up. I don't know, whatever the case may be. But anyway, y'all. So we'll keep on looking. They said Russia actually owned what they were fighting for. People saying Cuba next. I've been hearing that too. I've been hearing that for sure about Cuba and all of that. So we don't know. But I mean, he said he wanted Canada and Greenland. So I don't know. I mean, because Greenland would be easier for him to go get than anything else. And I don't know, Canada, I don't know if you're going to become the 51st state now. I don't know. But I guess if you do, I guess welcome to your new country, I guess. But let's see here. Oh, what? A-Town Shorty Pimp 1. That's how I guess you sent 10 channel gifts to memberships. Okay, well, I guess thank you for gifting people. You gifting a whole lot of people, I see. Okay. Well, all right, y'all. Like I said, let me go on and wrap this up. All right, so check out. Make sure you hold on. Trump said hitting around Cuba. Yeah. Trump crazy. All right, but thank y'all for listening, and definitely make sure you subscribe. Catch up with, watch all the journalists here who's doing great work, putting out the news reports from here to the continent of Africa throughout the world, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.